So I was reading this article published by Penn State University covering the very unfair wages and hours that animators in Japan have to work and work for. And it's absurd, like absolutely absurd. These workers deserve fair pay and fair hours. Um, this article made that very clear. In fact, Japan's minimum wage, at least in 2015, was $17,500. Some base level animators are making like $900 a month and working bonkers hours. This is especially heinous considering the fact that these animators work for a per frame payment. It's not based on hours worked, it's based on the product they create. And in fact, not the quality, but the quantity of the product they create. So there is huge pressure on them to stay late, to put personal lives on hold, to stay at the office. This article I read went into like animators sleeping there, not going home for months, weeks and months. One animator even saw her parents once in a year and didn't own her own apartment. She lived at the studio she worked at. So this article, definitely worth a look. Here, I'll pull it up. There's a picture of an actual Japanese animation studio. Thank you, Getty Images. And this graph, also pulled from the article, shows the increase in animated TV shows, TV programs, over the years since 1963 up until 2015. So we see a huge increase in demand. 233 new programs premiering in 2015. This massive increase in demand is only exacerbating the problem where animators are overworked and underpaid. Luckily, my closest friend and roommate, since we're quarantining at the moment, is also an animator. He's going to graduate in May from CMU with his animation degree. So I spoke to him a little bit about what the challenges of being an animator entail.
Hi, I'm Jonah Beranek, and I'm an animator. In case you wanted to know, animation is just drawing a bunch of pretty pictures and making them move, basically. How animation works, at least in the traditional sense, is that you have the keyframes, which are like the frames of the basic movement that's happening, and then you have the in-between frames, which are the frames that make that action look smoother. Color animation is also a thing in the industry, and actually I'm working a bit with it today myself, because like you have the line work, but then like if you want colors to do something in particular, you're gonna want to have like a separate artist on that. And then there's also stuff like special effects artists who do all the fun little sparkles and stuff you see, like when Silorenda like makes her dress beer on her and stuff.
You did say so.
Did say Silorenda. The line work, or as the industry calls them, like cleanup artists, they probably have one of the longest besides the in-betweeners. In-betweeners is probably the longest process because they have to do like all the individual in-between frames. I've animated a whole like 4-second scene right here, and like it's been like 3 days. You'll often hear a lot of stories of people like who worked on like Miyazaki films and stuff saying they literally had to live at the office for weeks at a time, and it's like that's just how it is. Probably the best thing that people here can do, like overseas from Japan, is like buy the box sets of like TV shows or movies you like instead of going for streaming services. Try not to take animators for granted. Like looking at a film and going, oh, that's so easy. How do they not do that in like 5 minutes every day? Like some animators do have the ability to make that kind of stuff really fast and on a whim, but like it's still a lot of work.